guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Excciiittteedddd and this is Excciiittteedddd rebranded. So today I am finishing off part 2 of the series that I started for how to buy land. So there is a video that comes before this video and it's known as the 10-step process of buying land in Kenya. I have already done part 1. We've talked about the first 6 steps, the land buying process. There are a couple of steps that you need to go through to efficiently buy your land. The first step is land identification and land scouting. Land scouting, just like the word says, is looking for land, scouting for the land. We move on to the second step, which is find out the proposed use of the land. So the thing is, guys, and this came to me as information that I really kind of knew but I didn't know, different land has been categorized for different use cases, and the categorization of land is known as zoning. We move to the third step, which is you can engage a reputable valuer. So this is also known as valuation. So the thing is, you don't have to do this step. Most of the times, most of us are buying pieces of land that the price is honestly out there. You already know how much this particular land costs, but in the event you're buying either large parcels of land or a place where not many people are purchasing, or it's not as common as other places in the country, you can engage a reputable valuer. However, if you have not checked it out, please do. If you're intending to buy land, I did a whole mock-up research for you so that you actually start the process, things will be slightly easier for you. So now I'm going to do the second part of this video, which is my favorite, because now we are about to actually buy the land. So yay to us. Again, just disclaimer, guys, I am not a land person or I don't know, an advisor per se. I just do my research online and I share this content with you guys. In case I am off with a few things, just comment down below and educate us. Also, guys, if you like the content, please give this video a thumbs up, please, guys, and obviously subscribe if you're not part of the ONR family. Okay, so we are done. So step 7, since in the video, guys, the first video we went to step 6, so we did 1 2 3 4 5 6, yeah, so now we are at step 7. The thing is, after you have finished doing your official land search, yeah, you have gotten the information of what that land entails. So the first thing, which is step 7, is you need to confirm the land rates and the land rent. How do you do this? You can actually obtain certificates of each, and this will help you realize if, one, the land has been registered to the Ministry of Lands for paying land rates and rent. 2, it can give you an idea if the land has any debts, like they've not paid their land rates or their land rent for a very long time. You're probably wondering, Olive, what is the definition of land rates and land rent? So currently on our website, as I record this video, known as man.co.ke, the definition of a land rate. A land rate is a tax imposed by county governments within a municipality or a township. Land rates are payable irrespective of services such as water, sanitation, sewerage that are provided by the county. Whereas the county may not provide the services, lol, it is mandatory for landowners to pay the rates imposed on the property. So what I'm getting is land rates are paid to the county. Now let's talk about land rent. So land rent is a tax/rental amount payable to the lessor. So in most circumstances, the lessor is 1, the government, 2, the county government, or 3, a state authority such as Kenya Railways Corporation, Kenya Ports Authority, among others. So the land rent is payable to the lessor every year before end of January, and the lessor may revise the land rent as they will, although most times it is revised blah 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 blah. So a land rate is paid to the county, and this is mainly just because of the maintenance of that area, while a land rent is actually a tax imposed that is paid to the lessor. So let me give you guys a story time. A long time ago, my mom used to have a restaurant, a small mini restaurant at a a place known as Bunyala Road. Okay, so there is leasehold land there, and I'm going to explain to you guys what leasehold land is. So they built a small restaurant with my dad some time back, and I remember I used to hear my mom saying, you know, we've not paid railways. So now in my older self is now I get, so because that land where the restaurant was built on was leased to us by Kenya Railways Authority. So every year they actually used to pay an amount for that space, and that amount is a land rent. It's not Kenya Railways Authority, guys, correction, it's Kenya Railways Corporation, KRC. So that's what a land rent and land rate is. So when you're buying land, you actually need to acquire the certificates and be aware if that land has nothing pegged on it. So guys, if you want to know how to pay your land rent online, normally you're meant to come to this section on eCitizen. So you obviously have to create an account on eCitizen. Then you'd scroll down and come to Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning, and that's where you would normally click, and then you would be redirected to Excciiittteedddd or Ministry of Lands. However, unfortunately, the website is not opening from eCitizen. In the event yours also doesn't work, just come directly to Ministry of Lands, which is Excciiittteedddd, and then when you come here, you can just come at the search bar and just type land rent. So you can tell I'd already typed, and then search that. Once you search, you're going to see this, how to pay land rent on Excciiittteedddd. So it was just released the other day, literally August 6th 2021, and you can just click read more, and you'll see now the step-by-step process as to how you can pay for your land rent on this platform. Anyway, now we move to the land rates. So land rates are paid on the NCCG e-payments portal. So we were on this portal just the other day when we were applying for our single business permit, but you can actually pay land rates here. So you can see, click here to pay for your land rates, and when you click more, you can see pay land rate and print receipt. So again, you can follow through the steps from this page, and then you'll be able to pay for your land rates. I will just link these two pages on the description box, both the Excciiittteedddd page and the NCCG payments platform page. Please don't forget, make sure that the seller has covered all the land rates and interest before you actually make any land transactions. The 8th step of your land buying process is land surveying / obtaining a surveying map. You actually make a physical visit to the land, but now you make the physical visit with a land surveyor. So you're probably wondering, Olive, where do I get the surveyor? What do they do, and how does this help me? Let me explain to you. So a land surveyor will confirm the boundaries of your land. So maybe the seller is telling you the land is maybe bigger than it actually is. The land surveyor will tell you the true size of that land. They will also obtain a land survey map from the survey's office and check whether the land and the title number actually exist on the survey map. So what I came to learn is this part is really forgeable because the map is in the survey map offices. So when you hire the correct people, they will literally go and do the homework for you and confirm for you if this land is actually on our survey maps. So these are not as easy to forge like title deeds, and most of the times you need to find a land surveyor that is familiar with your area, because you can't pick just any land surveyor just because they can land survey. It is better if you found a land surveyor, maybe if he focuses in Anyuki or he focuses in Kijabe or wherever, he has a better idea of how that land should be. So it is an advice that I found on the internet and I figured I should share with you guys. Another thing is the map is available for you to actually purchase. So I learned that there are different types of maps. Okay, there is a tour map, and there are maps that are drawn to scale, and there are those that show your neighboring lands. Each of these maps are 300 bob or less. So that is something again I found out. So you can get a tour map, a map drawn to scale, and a map showing your neighboring lands or neighbors. Okay, I honestly think, 300 bob for a land map, please get it. And this article is why you need a land surveyor. So I'm just going to scroll down and just see what we just talked about when purchasing land that hasn't been subdivided, to find out if your land is the correct land or the right size, confirm the boundaries on the map, and to ascertain the real owner of the land. Again, you can also see what you need to do when the land you've been sold to doesn't match the agreed size. He also talks about where to get a genuine land surveyor. So I'm about to show you the land survey board at Arthi House, where you can actually get surveyors. And I'm seeing there's also Institution of Surveyors of Kenya at Kenya Re, and there's also Survey of Kenya, who are all over the country. So there's also maps to property, requirements for you to carry out a land survey, and even how much a survey can cost. So I actually didn't know this, so I'm glad I stumbled on this, guys. It seems that it can vary between 3,000 to 100,000 depending on the number of parcels from a subdivision and type of approval system you run. It can also be charged at 3% of your property value. Advantages of a survey: no title deed is actually issued without a survey. So as I was telling you guys, title deeds can be forged, but a survey map, survey certificate or whatever cannot be forged. Even talks about how long that this process takes. In the rural areas it takes a few hours, and in the urban areas it can even take 6 months. Anyway, I'll just link this down below in case you're interested to visit the website and read for yourself. So yeah, for now let's move on to how you can access a genuine land surveyor. Another thing as well that I have learned about surveying and mapping is there are actually offices that are responsible for surveying and mapping, and I want to show you guys that actually right now. So guys, currently a website known as lands.go.ke. This is the official Ministry of Land. So when you come to Arthi Sasa and you come to services, you see that they offer a lot of services. There is land registration services, land administration services, land valuation as well, survey services, and so much more. So again, if you watched my part 1 of this video when I told you need to engage a reputable valuer, I honestly think you can get a reputable valuer from the actual Ministry of Lands website. And now I'm actually learning that you can also register basically guys, this is the website you need to camp on, okay? Because I'm also seeing there's land registration services whereby you want to register a transfer, a charge, succession, correction of names. They also issue land title deeds in case the land doesn't have. They also do land searches. This is the website you can also visit to read more. But about the survey services, this is where we are currently and this is where I'm going to talk to you guys about. So if you can see here, they do survey of boundaries, they do the survey of the general boundaries of your land. They also do the sale of maps and even the national atlas. So what you just need to do, guys, is, so if you come here, guys, at survey offices, you can see that there are different survey offices for different counties. So depending on the county you're in, there's Baringo, Bomet, Bungoma, Bureti. I think they've all arranged them in alphabetical order. And if you're in Nairobi, just search Nairobi and you can see the contacts at their Nairobi survey at rth.go.ke. And I personally would have just emailed them and tell them I'm looking for someone to survey my land. This is where the land is. and hopefully see how they would assist. Also down here they have a contact us. You could also go to the RT house, you could make a call, but I'm not sure if they pick the calls, but I'm just saying that the information has been linked. If you're not going to use the actual Ministry of Lands to survey your land, then I think a private company which is good at it can do the work for you and even probably apply the land and all these maps for you as well. Guys, before I move to the next step, there's a few pointers that I had noted down that I feel like I really need to share with you guys. So in land, guys, there are different sizings and measurements that different people use in land. So there are people who will calculate your land in hectares, HA, and there are people who are going to calculate your land in acres, like acres. Yeah, a hectare is significantly much bigger. 1 hectare is often 2.471 acres. Okay, so what I learned is the person was saying always subtract the difference between hectares and acres. Okay, and the difference is sometimes quite big. There is a difference and you need to reference the two, and he gave an example with title deeds and land surveyors. So title deeds and land surveyors are always working in hectares, so you might be sold the land in acres, or you might be measured for the land in acres, but realize the title deed itself and the land surveyor will give you the land in hectares. Wow guys, I am suffering today. So basically you really need to be able to convert and not confuse the two. And I remember I think I watched this from Goshen, and he said there's a lady who sued, I think, a company that she sold them the land, but she sold them or something in acres, but they calculated it as hectares, so they took most of her land, and she felt like they weren't honest, but the guys were like, we used hectares, you're the one who used acres. Like, it was a whole mambo jumbo. So yeah, so step number 9 is the land control board. So what is the land control board? Who are the land control board? What do they do? Why are they in this mix of buying land? So before we explain what the land control board is, I will again take you guys to my screen, and I want to show you guys the difference between leasehold and freehold land. And once we understand that description, it will be easier for me to now explain how the land control board comes into this picture. So again, we are back on my screen, and currently we are reading this from denvers.co.ke, differences between freehold and leasehold land tenure. So I liked a lot their explanation, and that's why we are here. And if you can see, they're saying freehold, the land, you have full rights to your land. The owner has full rights to their land. Whereas leasehold, the restricted rights to the owners. Okay, maybe let's scroll down. Freehold represents the greatest interest an individual can have on land, since it gives the holder or purchaser of the land absolute ownership of the land for life. So most of the times, these are people who have maybe residential areas. They can literally just pass down the house or the land to the next of kins, and succession is just way easier. It continues in the family, and this is the land that most of you should consider buying if that's the land you're trying to buy. Then the second one is leasehold. So leasehold, for this one, the interest in the land is for a specific period, subject to the payment of a fee or rent to the grantor. So if I told you guys, the way I told you guys about the land rent, we were on leasehold land, meaning yes, we did build a small restaurant there, and we did use cement and all these things, but we knew that it was only for a period of time. So most of the time it can range from 99 years for urban plots to 999 years for agricultural land. So leasehold basically is, yes, you can build whatever you want, yes, you can do anything you want on the land, but you can't really pass down that land, and you can't really say that land is yours. You really can't, like, it's not really your land, right? And you're currently paying a small rent or fee for leasing that land. So where does the land control board come to this freehold leasehold land? So the land board is essentially a group of assistant county commissioners, local village elders that have been mandated to oversee the purchase of land in different areas. Every county has a land control board. So the board work basically is to protect the seller from selling land that either one was instructed never to be sold, or even to confirm if the person selling the land has the consent of the wife or the family. And they actually meet once every month. So every month, for example, if you're buying land, you would be asked to meet the land control board, and you would pay 1,000 Kenya shillings. And once you meet them, you can have that meeting, and you can be given either the go ahead to buy that land or told not to buy the land. There is another one known as the Special Land Control Board. This one I've had, it can be set up in 2 hours. So in case the monthly meetings for you are too far and you really want to buy this land and get it over and done with, you can request for a Special Land Control Board. And for this one, you'd have to pay 5,000 Kenya shillings, but you would be meeting them chap chap. Okay, so I want to actually show you guys something else that I learned is with this land control board, if you are buying freehold land, so freehold land, like I said guys, is land that you have all the rights, and the land is an agricultural piece of land, you have to engage the land control board. However, if you're buying urban land, residential, it's your own plot of land, I mean, or you even want to build apartments on that land, but it's not agricultural in any way, you don't need an LCB from what I learned. However, I've still had people in my family saying they still were told to attend the meetings and they were buying residential pieces of land. So on research, or rather from what I've found, if you're buying your own residential piece of land, you don't need to attend that land control board meeting. But on ground, I've had some of my family members saying that they did pay that 5K and they did have to show up for that meeting. So it goes to show you guys, sometimes what we read and what is on ground can be different. I think on ground, honestly, the money is what is speaking. People want money, and if they hear you're buying land, you'll be coerced to go for that meeting, even if in reality, according to the constitution, probably you don't have to, because it's not agricultural land. Agricultural land, by law, you need a land control board permission. Another thing I've learned is the land control board can give you permission to either subdivide that land below an acre, and they also can tell you if you can amalgamate land. So amalgamating land is maybe 2 pieces and then you're trying to make them one. That's why an LCB is very, very important, for them to tell you, okay, you can actually amalgamate these 2 pieces of land and make it one, or okay, maybe you can subdivide this acre and subdivide it to smaller pieces of land. This is something I've just learned the other day. If you're buying agricultural land, the minimum you should buy is 1 acre. I did not know that. And if you're being sold for half an acre or an eighth or whatever, you need to confirm if the land control board gave permission to that, because agricultural land minimum purchasing is 1 acre. Yes, 1 acre. Again, if you're sold for less, then they need to show you proof from the land control board that they were given permission to subdivide the land, and that's where you're getting it. Also, please note, if someone subdivides land, every subdivision has to have a title deed. Second thing I've learned is commercial or residential pieces of land, the minimum you can purchase is 1/8 of an acre. So guys, I came about this particular page when I was doing my research. I was like, I have to show you guys. It's a post in 2016. And that's what I'm telling you guys, land control boards actually have some form of power. So if you can see here, the poster is saying, did you know all about land boards in Kenya? And you can see here, did you know that land control boards are established under the Land Control Act for controlling specified agricultural land transactions? Like I told you guys, on research it's saying you only need it for agriculture, but for some reason, I don't know why people still go to the land control board for residential areas. But anyway, so you can see here the LCB is a forum made of the Assistant County Commissioner, previously called DO, District Officer, or is it Divisional Officer? Anyway, and the local village elders, and they meet once a month. So they are the ones who give the final consent for the land to be sold. Their role is to protect the seller from self-destruction. E.g., when a man is selling land without his wife's knowledge and they don't have anywhere else to go, or the land is being sold is clan or community land. So if you can see this picture here, someone has come up with a public notice. The photo appearing here is of my husband, Mugunga Emmanuel Freddy, whom I'm married to. I guess he's saying please don't buy land. I knew it. The public is put on notice not to buy any land from my husband without my consent. So this means this person actually went to the land control board and got the caveat. So the caveat is like a warning type of post, like please don't allow him to sell our land, because once you buy land with your partner, it's considered a matrimonial property, so they can't just sell the land without your consent. Okay, anyway, another thing I found again is just again about the land control board. I saw this on extramileproperties.wordpress.com, and when you scroll down, you can see they explain essentially what these people do and how it goes about. So you can see here there's a standard form that is used to apply to appear before the land control board. In most cases, one must apply at least 10 days before the scheduled date, and you have to check with the respective county lands office. And yeah, meetings are mostly held at the county commissioner's office. Again, a fee of 1,000 is charged, but like I told you guys, there's a special one for 5K if you really want things to move chap chap. Again, when you're going to your land control board meeting, there are documents that you need to carry. The absence of a LCB consent in a transaction involving agricultural land is deemed to be null and void and of no consequence by virtue of the provision. So basically, guys, if it's agricultural land, please seek a land control board. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. And that's why in the first part of our video, we talked about identify the proposed use of the land. There are different reasons why you'd be buying land: agricultural, residential, commercial, too many. But if you know your land is agricultural, you really have to go this route. However, if on ground your lawyer or the people you're dealing with are just advising you to go to the LCB, then maybe just do it for your sanity and all. So that is